Okay, hello everyone, and welcome back to World of Tanks Blitz. We're here going to be doing a garage review of the Panther II, Tier 8 German medium tank leading to the E50s, with the E50 and the E50M right here. Yeah, some decent medium tanks then. But anyway, yes, the Panther II. Decent enough Tier 8 medium tank if we compare it to, for example, Type 59, or in fact compare them to all the ones which I have here. So I've got 45% protection, 55% firepower, 71% shot effectiveness and 47% manoeuvrability. So 1450 HP, which compared to some of these other ones. T-34-3 with 1300, Type 59 with also 1300, the Chieftain with 1590 with the improved assembly. Do I have any more medium tanks? Yes, the FCM with 1500 and the Centre for Disease Control with 1350. So it's not got the most health, but it certainly is up there. It has got decent health for the tier for a medium tank, so that is of course on the plus side. However, the armour not so much. 100 frontal hull, 60 side, 40 rear, 150 frontal turret, 60 sides and rear. This is of course the Schmalterm, the prototype turret which Germany wanted to get into production, and had Germany managed to push back on some fronts, 1946 would definitely have been a more interesting year than it was, if they managed to get many of these projects actually off the ground, so to speak. But yes, so the Schmalterm, 150 front turret, not that bad, however sloped, very slight angle, but nothing really much to say there. Good thing though, these the sides, whilst only 60, are sloped at a very extreme angle from the front of the turret, so whilst they're not as thick as the frontal 150 at a not that great slope, they are at a far more effective angle, which means that shots hitting your turret as you perhaps, for example, turn at them, so say there's an enemy over here, you're turning at them, as they fire, you're turning your turret, shot likely to hit onto this extreme slope, as you turn, ricochet off of the extreme sloping as an auto bounce. So that is one of the benefits of the turret. The turret is certainly more armoured than the hull, which is only 100mm. Whilst it is sloped, it's certainly not as effective as the Tiger II with its 150 frontal hull, with a slightly less steep slope, but it is 50mm thicker on the Tiger II than it is on the Panther II. Sides and rears, yeah, notwithstanding, 60 and 40, so yeah, 60, 40, 60, anything's really going to get through your sides and rears. You can't really side scrape with it. Tiger II you can to an extent, because it is 80 with the Tiger II, but 20mm less. You can't really side scrape with the Panther II. You can certainly try it, but it'll be about as effective as just showing your frontal flat armour. Also, weak spot right here, with the little machine gun turret, or with the hull machine gunner's port here. That is of course a weak spot. Also the big commander's cupola up the top as well, that is also a weak spot. But compared to some of these other things, I mean the T-34, T-34-3, 90 frontal hull, sloped back at pretty much the same sort of angle. Yeah, again, weak hull armour, very strong turret. Same with the Type 59 as well. 100 frontal hull, yeah, again, same sort of deal. The French tanks, yeah, we don't really talk about them, and the Chieftain is a whole different kettle of fish. But yeah, so armour, not that great. Mobility as well, not that particularly great either. 47% is all it's got. It weighs 53, basically 54 tons with the 700 horsepower engine. For comparison, the Tiger I, that weighs about 58 tons again, has an 850 horsepower engine, but realistically, historically, yeah, it had a 700 horsepower engine, and so yeah, it's not the most mobile of medium tanks. Example, the T-34-3 has got a 50% manoeuvrability, Type 59 has got 53. Chieftain, I was looking at a heavy tank actually rather than a medium, but it's a sort of same thing, 32. But the FCM, 53, Centre for Disease Control, 81. Yeah, it's not the most mobile of medium tanks. It's more inclined towards other areas, so that is a bit of a problem there. Feels a bit sluggish, bit slow. 55 kilometers per hour top speed. Yeah, it's all right, but the acceleration not that great, to be honest. Traverse speed as well with the upgraded suspension, 47.35. It's decent enough. Traverse speed, the turret traverse, however, a bit on the slow side, more of a heavy tank, as it were, than the actual medium tank of the Panther. So it's not the best, not the most mobile, which is a bit of a shame. But yeah, as for the turret, there it is, the Schmoll term. The turret it has stock is basically a downgrade of the Schmoll term. It's still a Schmoll term, but it's the Schmoll term that you get on the Panther. Actually, it's even worse than the Schmoll term you get on the Panther. So yeah, it's an alright turret, but of course you do want to get the better turret. As for the engine, it's a Maybach HL230 TRMP30. Same thing as they sort of had on the Tiger, although I think it was a P45 on the Tiger. But again, minor details. Yeah, as for the turret, 286 meters view range is the only thing I'm gonna say with binos. So yeah, or coated optics rather. So yeah, decent enough mobile view range. Again, suspension traverse, yeah, same sort of deal. As for the guns, it's a decent selection of guns actually. Stock gun that you will be working with before you get the upgraded turret will be the 75 L100, the same gun as you get on the Tier 7 Panther, being this thing, the L100 novelty gun. It's a decent gun, or nearly 200 penetration. At Tier 7 is good. Same at Tier 8 for a medium tank, near 200 penetration is good. It's also comparable to the upgraded 88 that you get on this thing, because there's not much in it really. I'm sure you will no doubt find some Panther II drivers going around with the 75 L100 novelty gun, because if we look at the top gun on this thing, which is the 88 KWK 43 L71, same gun as mounted on the King, compared to the L56 mounted on the Tiger. If we have a look, this has got a 10.35 rate of fire rounds per minute, 203 average pen with AP, 237 with APCR, 44 with HG, standard sort of 88, same with the damage, 220, 190, 270. Again, any 88 will have the same sort of average damage. Decent dispersion, 0.32, pretty accurate, decent aim time, 3.6 seconds. Yeah, not a bad gun. However, the 75, whilst being a smaller caliber of gun, does have a better rate of fire with 14.63. Only 5 less penetration with AP, 198, but it does gain 7 millimeters of pen with the APCR with 244. HE goes down to only 20 because it's a smaller caliber. The average damage also goes down to 160, 135, 200 from any sort of other 75mm gun. And dispersion, however, goes up to 0.3, which is very, very accurate. Same aim time, weighs less, better maneuverability, as you can see. Very slightly, but still noticeable, or notable rather. Lower ton, better traverse. And yeah, it's a competent gun. It is really a case of whether or not you want higher alpha for a lower rate of fire, or whether you want a higher rate of fire, slightly worse penetration, but and also lower average damage, but again, higher rate of fire, higher dispersion, or better dispersion rather. So yeah, it is a choice between the two guns, and they are decent guns. Also, something else to note: gun mantlet impenetrable. Look at all that sloping and rounding, impenetrable. Yeah, gun mantlet will likely have some shells ricocheting off of that. Yeah, so that is the basic stats. It is a bit of a mix and match medium. It's not so much a flanking medium, but more of a sort of wolf pack. It works better in support of heavies rather than out on its own, like some of these other mediums. As for ammunition, it does carry 60 rounds of 88 ammunition, so you can go ahead mix with them as you want. As for provisions, you've got your standard and improved fuel for 3 and 10% respectively to engine power and turret traverse. got your chocolate bar and your chocolate for 3 and 10% respectively to crew mastery. Then you've got your protective kit, 15% protection to crew from injuries, 10% speed and module repair, 20% fire protection and 10% ammo and fuel tank durability. So you can go ahead and mount them as you want. As for consumables, standard repair, first aid, fire. Engine power boost, 20% engine power for 15 seconds. Adrenaline, 20% to low speed, 10% chance of damaging enemy vehicle modules for 15 seconds. Then your multi-purpose, which is those 3 rolled into one. And you can go ahead and mount all of them as you wish. I prefer to go with the standard consumables, but of course your mileage may vary. As for equipment, gun rammer is what I would say for the 88, however, bearing in mind that you can use the 75 on this, may be better to go with the calibrated shells for slightly better average pen with your 75mm. So yeah, it is pretty much up to you. If you do use the calibrated shells, you've basically got a higher rate of fire, better accurate, but lower penetration 88. But since we're going for the 88 here, gun rammer, I would say. Then improved modules for the extra track durability. Also protection of ramming, because it is a weighty tank and it does have alright armour for a medium. It's not the best armour, but the pluses and minuses. So yeah, I would say improved modules. Then you're a medium, so coated optics. You could use it as a sniper, which is probably not a particularly bad idea due to the relatively thin armour of this thing. Especially with regards to the hull, many things will penetrate right through you if you think. If you think a lot of the heavy tanks such as IS-6, the Glacial, the Tiger, the Chieftain? Not the Chieftain. Yeah, okay, the Chieftain. The IS-2SH, the KV-5, the Mutant, all of these things have got double in terms of penetration than you do your armour. They all have 200 average, you only have 100 average armour. Moving on from there, supercharge, better shell velocity, and decrease in penetration over distance. Important if you are going to go for the sniper role. You don't need enhanced gun lane drive, decent aim time, don't need it. Definitely then improved assembly for the better HP. Your armour not going to stand up, so definitely not enhanced armour. Doesn't add that much really in terms of it, so definitely improved assembly. Then engine accelerator. Acceleration is more important in this case than traverse, because your traverse is decent enough, about 50 with the upgraded suspension. So engine accelerator. Then it's a choice really between refined gun for better accuracy, definitely going to be more useful for the snipers. However, vertical stabilizers, because you are a medium, you're not a particularly quick medium, but definitely doing snapshots on the move, as you do possibly more peekaboo tactics, and hoping that people ricochet off of your sloped side turret armour is probably going to be more useful. So again, that's different roles. Snipers go with refined gun, peekaboo mediums go with vertical stabilizers. Then it's a choice between them two really. They're both sort of negligible to medium tank, because you're not meant to be soaking up hits like a heavy tank, so you could go with enhanced tracks if you're a heavy, but not really in this case, so I would say possibly toolbox. But again, it's a choice, and a choice of those two things. So yeah, overall Panther II, decent enough medium tank, good gun selection between the two of them, multi-role medium, could be a sniper, could be a close support, could be a peekaboo, could be a wolfpack. It's very much dependent on individual playstyle, which is good because it means it sort of fits a role for everyone. Everyone can like the Panther II. Then yeah, I'll thank you for watching and goodbye.